Next up, we'll go to Terry Cochin, Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, Jake, what comes to mind for you when you kind of reflect on the season Auston had and then what he's capable of doing here in the playoffs for you guys?
Yeah, it's a special season for sure. As far as putting the puck in the net, it's been special for him and pretty special, overall too. He's had a great season, but with that being said, that's kind of done with now, and now it's a fresh start, new season here, and we hope he continues for sure.
Next up, we'll go to Chris Johnston, Sportsnet. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Jake. If Rasmus Sandin were to ask you what to expect in his first Stanley Cup playoff game, what would you tell him?
What would I tell Rasmus? It would just be, the speed and the intensity would be a little picked up. The game is, it's still the game, but it's the speed and the intensity, the physicality, and that would be heightened a little bit for sure.
Next up, we'll go to Josh Clipperton, Canadian Press. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Jake, this might be a little cliche, but as an Ontario kid, what does it mean to you to be part of this series? We know the history, how long it's been.
Yeah, it's special. I've touched on this before too, growing up here, and then being a Toronto fan, growing up obviously, and being able to play it's special. And with that being said, here we are in the playoffs versus Montreal. So it's a good storyline, but for me, it's just focusing on being the best player I can be and helping the team succeed and move on here.
Next up, we'll go to Stephen Wino with Associated Press. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Jake, I know you've only been around for a couple of these years, but you won a Stanley Cup a couple times with the LA Kings when you have kind of that grit in your game. How is this team kind of more well positioned to make a run given the balance and the additions that Kyle's made with this team?
Yeah, you just said it. It's a little more well-rounded. We brought in some guys who are a little grittier, some veteran guys who've been around and seen some stuff, and the young guys have learned. We still have improvements in our game that we need, and we're going to need them in the playoffs here. But the team is as most well-rounded as I've seen it. In my time here.
Next up, we'll go to Kristen Shilton, TSN. Go ahead, Kristen.
Jake, where do you think the blue line would get the biggest boost if Bogosian's able to rejoin you in this first round?
Yeah, he's going to come in and be a big physical guy for us, box outs, strong in the corners and on guys. And, he's a good leader in the room, and he has that big physical presence. So that's for sure what he brings for us.
Next up, we'll go to Lance Hornby, Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Lance.
Hey, Jake, I wasn't sure if you were aware today that the club promoted Haley Wickenheiser to Senior Director of Player Development and Daniel Goyette as an assistant. What do you think of those moves? Big moves, obviously, for females to make an impact in hockey.
Yeah, it's huge. I didn't know that until you told me, so that's awesome. She's awesome. She's been around a little bit here and helped us out. And it's an exciting time for her and for us.
And last three here, we'll go to Mark Masters, TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Jake, you've been mentioning the increased physicality. Obviously, the Habs led the league in hits. If they try and turn this into an ultra physical series, maybe a little nasty. What's the best way to combat that?
Well, we got to be ready for a physical series no matter what. And I think we need to be more physical. But we got to stay composed and play our game. We can't get off track and try to run around and do all this crazy stuff. We got to play our game and stick to it till it works for us.
Last two here, we'll go to Alexis Champagne with the Canadian Press. Go ahead, Alexis.
Thank you. Hi, Jake. Maybe you touched on it a little bit, but what's the main thing that has led to success in your defensive zone this season, maybe if you compare to last year?
The main thing. Well, I think as a group, we've been better, knowing our jobs, knowing our roles, and executing them. We've had great goaltending all season, which also helps. Our D have been a little more calmer, and we've been a little bit more, there's been more talk too, I think, which also helps. These are all things that, are very important in the D zone, and I think they've all kind of collectively allowed us to be better.
And And last one here, we'll do Jean-Francois with the Montreal Journal. Go ahead, Jean-Francois.
Hi, Jake. When we talk about Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner, it's no secret that they are one of the best players in the NHL offensively. But how can you describe the way they're playing defensively? How good they are now in their own zone, also?
Yeah, they've taken more, of a role of being a better defender, and it's clear to see. To win in the playoffs, you need your best guys to be your best defensive guys as well. They have to score goals and play strong defensively, and those two have made strides in that, and we're gonna need them to do that in the playoffs.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep.